Hi, this is the silver level presentation, which is focusing on energy and water. You should have already completed the bronze level, which was focused on waste management and recycling. Now we will be moving on to the silver level, focusing on energy and water. The Green Office team has put together some tools for you to help you succeed in your certification process. One of them is this presentation that you are currently receiving. Also, we have an action checklist for your office to carry out, a detailed resource list, a 2-week check-in from a member of the Green Office team, and assistance and support whenever you need it. Part 1 of the silver level is focused on energy. There are two main parts of sustainable energy: renewable production from sources like solar or hydro, and efficient consumption, which is on the user end. While UW-Madison is taking steps towards renewable production, the campus community has the power to initiate and support efficient consumption through simple behavioral changes. Reducing your energy consumption will have many positive outcomes. Some include reducing demand for fossil fuels, reducing greenhouse gas emissions, and saving you money. Renewable energy production is already happening on campus. For example, we have solar hot water systems, which are currently operating on DeJope, Leopold, and the Discovery Building. These heat about 25% of each building's water. Another example is a solar PV system on Gordon Dining and Event Center. This produces 42,800 kilowatt hours of electricity a year, generating $1,340 net annual income. It is important to know where your energy comes from. This pie chart focuses on UW-Madison's electricity mix. As you can see, coal accounts for 43% of our electricity, whereas renewables account for only about 11%. This number has been increasing within the past few years, but there is still progress to be made. Using energy is not free and has a cost. UW-Madison spends about $57 million per year on energy, and we also create about 381,000 metric tons of carbon. Those numbers can be overwhelming, so here's a few examples to help you better understand what they really mean. $57 million is equivalent to the in-state tuition of 5,280 UW-Madison students. The 381,000 metric tons of carbon dioxide emissions is equivalent to producing about 890,000 barrels of oil, 1 year of electricity use by 74,000 average U.S. households, and sequestering this carbon in 1 year requires a little over 450,000 acres of average U.S. forest. These pie charts show the breakdown of energy use in an office space. As you can see, lighting and heating are the biggest users of energy. As compared from the previous pie charts, energy use in office spaces is different at UW-Madison. Heating, cooling, and ventilation make up most of the pie chart, whereas lighting sits around the same percentage as computers and lab equipment. An activity you can do during your silver level certification process is to complete an energy audit. What you'll do is you'll find an appliance that is always plugged in and use the activity to calculate the kilowatt hours consumed a year, the cost per year, and pounds of CO2 emitted to produce this energy per year. So there is some sample data that you can use if you'd like, or you can do it yourself. There are some quick fixes your office can make to lower your energy use. Some of them are focused on heating and cooling. You can bring maintenance staff into conversation if your space is over or underheated, and then in winter, avoid space heaters, and in summer, opt for open windows and closed blinds over AC. And of course, close all windows if your AC is running to avoid wasting energy. Other ways to reduce energy use are to replace lights with LED bulbs when needed because they use 1/5 of the power and last 5 times longer than CFLs. And then a quick reminder about batteries is that alkaline and lithium batteries are trash and are not recyclable. But you should opt for rechargeable batteries instead. Even though they cost 4 times as much, they last 200 times longer, so you will be saving money in the long run. As for appliances, you should turn them off when they're not in use. Devices in sleep or standby mode pull ghost power. This means that they are using power even when you are not actively using them. Computers especially do this, so you should ditch the screensaver and use power strips and smart strips to avoid wasting energy. You should also centralize appliances. And then kitchen appliances should have an air gap between the device and the wall. And then use Energy Star appliances, and then keep the refrigerator at about 35 to 38 degrees Fahrenheit and the freezer at 0 degrees. Some additional recommendations include limiting travel for business, so opt for video integration or a local venue instead. And of course, we are all MG&E customers, so please be vocal and don't be afraid to tell them your opinion. Even though switching to energy efficient appliances helps a lot and is definitely worth it, the best thing you can do is turn it off. This is seen here in this quote by Jorgen Norgard. It says, even the most energy efficient lamp saves the most energy when turned off. So the best thing you can do is just not use it at all, have it unplugged and turned off. The second part of the silver level that we will be focusing on is water. You might be wondering, why is water conservation important? For one, it'll help you save energy. Energy is used to deliver, pump, and heat water for office buildings. So one thing you can do is be conscious of opportunity costs and resource usage. Another reason is resource depletion. So non-potable water conversion processes are very difficult and energy intensive. So one thing you can do is utilize restroom water and heating cooling systems efficiently. Another one is ecosystem failure. Natural ecosystems depend on fresh water, and UW-Madison uses 2.3 million gallons of water per day. So one thing you can do is share the importance of water preservation with others. The cycle of water on campus has 4 simple steps. First, it starts with water being drawn from underground reservoirs or aquifers. Then it is used by consumers. Then that used water is treated at MMSD. And then that treated water is returned to the environment through the Badfish and Badger Mill Creek. Water is central to the heating and cooling process on campus. The Charter Street heating and cooling plant draws 500 to 600 million gallons per year from Lake Mendota. This is equivalent to about 2 weeks of evaporation during hot summer weather. So in reality, this isn't that much water, but it is still water that we're losing. This system diverts over 70 million gallons of water from the sanitary sewer drain to the storm sewer annually, generating annual savings of almost $200,000. Water will be used in different ways and quantities in different spaces on campus. So this pie chart breaks down how water is used in the office, just like yours. As you can see, a lot of it goes to domestic or restroom, whereas also a lot of it is used for cooling and heating, then with 22% for landscaping, and then 13% for kitchen and dishwashing. There are a few things you can do to help conserve water in the office. So first, just start small. Small changes can make a big difference when everyone participates. So you can discuss water usage habits with coworkers and provide constructive feedback. You can ensure efficiency, so a half-full dishwasher uses the same amount of water that a full dishwasher does. So one thing you can do with that is check that the dishwashers are full before running and coffee makers are not overfilled. Then you can also stop leaks. A constantly running toilet can waste a gallon of potable water in 30 seconds. So what you can do about that is report faucets and toilets with leaks quickly. Get to know your maintenance crew. There are a few things that you should always avoid sending down the drain. Some of these cause pipes to clog, so this includes things like fats, oils, and grease, and non-flushable items including disinfectant wipes. We want to avoid pipes clogging because it is dangerous to send personnel for cleanups and it is costly. You should also never put pharmaceutical items down the drain. This includes things like prescription, over-the-counter medications, veterinary medications, fragrances, and cosmetics. This causes the water to be difficult to treat in our MMSD water treatment system and can lead to things like formation of antibiotic-resistant bacteria, hormones are endocrine disruptors that impact reproduction and growth and also release toxic components. Sidewalk salting may not be the first thing that comes to mind when you think of water conservation, but it is important because it does affect the health of our water. It runs off into lakes and treatment facilities, seeps into the groundwater and drinking water wells, rusts infrastructure and cars, degrades the insides of buildings, suppresses plant growth. Then chloride cannot be removed naturally by organisms in aquatic ecosystems and reduces the flow of nutrients. Then removing chloride at wastewater treatment facility is costly and not always feasible. As it says down here from Be Salt Wise, it only takes 1 teaspoon of salt to permanently pollute 5 gallons of water to a level that is toxic for freshwater ecosystems. There are 3 things you can do to salt properly and sustainably. These are shovel, scatter, and switch. So first off, you want to shovel the snow before it turns to ice, because this means you won't need to use as much salt because there will be less ice. And when you are applying salt, you should scatter it instead of leaving it in clumps so you can use less but get more out of it. And then also switch. So when it gets to below 15 degrees, salt isn't going to work. So you need to switch to a different ice melter, like a blend that works at a lower temperature, or just use sand for traction. Your office may not be in charge of salting, but there are still a few things that you can do to help. First off is leave salting to building managers and custodial staff. They are trained to lay down the salt correctly, and just because you don't see it doesn't mean it's not there. You can also wear shoes with traction or wear grips over your shoes into work so you won't slip on some ice. And then walk only on treated areas, and then request salting only when it is necessary. Like mentioned previously, salt does not melt ice if it is under 15 degrees. Like I mentioned earlier, if you'd like to go above and beyond and work towards a platinum level certification, you can have your office audited. For a more detailed look to your office's energy use, email the OS interns for a full office audit. We'll help identify the main energy users in your office and help create a plan to reduce any excess energy use. We can do it together and keep your office on track to be platinum certified. As we come to the end of this presentation, we just wanted to show you all of our teams. This includes Green Athletics, Green Events, Green Greeks, Green Labs, Green Office, which you are working with, and then the Social Sustainability Coalition. We just want to know that we are your resource. We are always available to answer questions, help programs, and provide resources, and we would love to hear your feedback on the certification process. Feel free to follow us on any of our platforms, and you can also sign up for our newsletter at that website. Thank you for taking the time to help us build a sustainable campus community. We look forward to working with you.